Hello, and welcome to Art on the Farm with Mia Sage and Jan. Today, we are going to be making spider webs. I'm going to show you two different ways to make spider webs. Now, we are going to today be using gel crayons. Some people have called them quick sticks, slick sticks. They work a lot like an oil pastel. One of the big differences between these gel crayons and an oil pastel is that you do need to keep a lid on it because it will kind of dry out, sort of, but it will lose its smearing ability. Okay. Now, also, one thing that I really like about these over an oil pastel for beginners is that like I said, they have different names in different places, but it's basically a gel crayon. Some call it a slick stick, some call it a quick stick. But one of the things that I really like about them is how well they smear. And then also that they'll dry really nicely after a few days. And then you can worry a lot less about smearing it or it getting against somebody else's artwork because as long as it's had about 2 or 3 days out to, in effect, kind of dry, then it will be pretty solid on the page. And that's what I have been most pleased with whenever I work with them over using an oil pastel. Now, younger artists will do better with these. Also, an older artist that may have trouble with their hands, the oil pastels are small and they are hard to continue to use after you've used it for a little while. Also, the heat in your hand, if you're pressing and bearing down because you're trying to get a good grip, sometimes the oil pastel will have a hard time maintaining its shape based on the brand. And so these, because most brands, well, all brands that I've seen, like to put it in a plastic casing, this can be a lot better of a choice for you if you are trying to do some art just for your own personal therapy and yet having a hard time holding something like the oil pastel. This is going to be bigger. It has a nice hard casing. It's a lot easier to use. Now, we are going to be using the white gel crayon today, and we are going to be using it not for its blendable usage, but because it works so well on dark surfaces. So, of course, if you've ever worked with crayons and colored pencils and such before, that some work better than others on a dark surface. And so these gel crayons, I've been really pleased with how they work on a very dark surface. This is actually a really dark gray. It looks black in the video, but it's really just a super deep dark gray, almost black. And I'm going to be showing you two different ways to do a spider web. So the first way is going to be all the way across the page, an entire spider web. So we are going to go from corner to corner. If you are the kind of person who really wants a straight edge, then you can grab a little something to help you out just a little bit. I am not usually a straight edge kind of person, but I just yanked this from the table. And so my goal is to, as close as possible, go from corner to corner. And I'll just use this as a nice gentle guide. Again, I'm not usually the ruler straight edge kind of girl. And you're going to be able to see that because I've already got some ripples and some rolls. And for what we're doing for the spider web, it's going to be okay. Now, I feel pretty confident now that I've tried that. I'm going to go from corner to corner. See, I think I do better without the straight edge. Now you know. So now that we have this, if you would like to make more sections for yourself, you most certainly can. Personally, I'm going to go on and add one more section going this way. And I think I'm decently content with that. All right. So as you do this, I want you to think from one line to the next with a dip. So a swoop, and up. Okay? And what you do to one section, you are going to do to all of the others. Swoop, 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 swoop. Okay? Now let's go on out and let's create another section. Swoop, swoop. Always make sure that if something like this happens and it's not 100% connected, you go back and connect it. Swoop, 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 and swoop. Okay, now you've really got the hang of it, but as you go further out, it really does become harder to maintain consistency because you get these little changes in edges. And you have your spider web. So this was the whole spider web. Again, remember that the gel crayon will smear for the first 2 or 3 days. So just be aware, be smart about it, where you put it. But it does have such a nice look on a dark surface. Such a nice job on a dark surface. All right, so next one, we're going to do it from a corner. I'm going to do it from the top corner here, which means I'm going to pull him down just a little bit more. It's kind of out of our way. Got my extra mistake paper there just in case. Okay. So we're going to pull this down on the edge and we're going to stop when we get about to the half mark on the page. I'm going to do the same thing on the top. We're going to pull down. And from there, in each of these 2 sections that we've created, let that one go all the way out. And then I'm going to let this one go part of the way down. Okay. Now we do our swoop, only he's upside down. So now he's more of an arch. Okay. Make sure that it touches each of the edges there. I got a little lazy there. 1, swoop, swoop. All right. Next one, swoop, 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 up. This will probably be your last one for me. And one thing that I like to do when I'm doing the part web, the partial web, is with these extras, I like to a lot of times make it look like somebody's walked through and it's just blowing in the breeze. So you can take that and do this number. Make that look on purpose there. This one is already kind of naturally curling from the way my hand made it. I'm just going to go back and make another curl in it. Just like that. Almost gives it a little extra creepy look, like there's a wind blowing or something going there. Construction paper. This is a deep dark gray cardstock because that's what I like to work with many times. It's very versatile. But construction paper works really, really well for this project as well. And again, gel crayons, gel sticks, slick sticks, those are all going to be the what I'm talking about here. This encased in a nice plastic, has a nice lid, and I really like working with these. I hope that you enjoyed your time with us today with Art on the Farm with Mia, Sage, and Jan, brought to you by the Monroe Area Council for the Arts. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.